Stay tuned because next up is host of The Hop, that's Home Ownership Podcast. David Charles Allen is also Village Properties Realtor, and he's here to tell us all about real estate in Santa Barbara.
Welcome to The Hop. This is David Charles Allen, Realtor at Village Properties in Santa Barbara, California, with my great friend and co-host, Patty Teal. I'm doing wonderful today, Patty. How you doing?
I'm doing great too, David. I'm in Florida, as you know, and maybe our listeners know, and it's already getting to be quite hot here.
Well, yeah, that's a huge difference from Santa Barbara here. We got some really cold nights the last few weeks, and we got temperatures in the 50s, and looks like some more rain coming our way.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a trip there in June. I hope we don't have a lot of June gloom, as sometimes happens, but it will be nice to get out of the heat.
Yeah, usually in June too, you get some of that gloom, mostly on the Mesa, and then other parts for the area are like really sunny and beautiful. So you can always spread out and you'll find somewhere that's really nice.
Yeah.
We got some swell coming in, but it's super windy right now. So it's really going to depend if anything's really even surfable at all.
Those choppy waves are hard to surf, or maybe impossible.
Choppy waves. I mean, you can go out there and have some fun, but it makes it more difficult. That's for sure. Depending how big the swell is too, maybe it is impossible. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Well, at least it must feel good just to get in that water.
Yeah. When it's this cold, you got to be prepared for it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You wear a full wetsuit?
Yeah, I finally got a full wetsuit. I went a couple years without having one, just a top. And this year's just been incredibly cold. So if you don't have a full wetsuit, it's hard to really get out there.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got that.
And in terms of how the interest rates performed, we are at 5.625 for 30-year jumbo and 6.375 for 30-year conforming. So again, slight move up, but nothing too drastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of remaining a little bit steady right now.
Steady right now, that's for sure. And then in terms of how the new listings have performed, 28 new listings, 15 price changes, 24 that closed, 21 that went pending, 3 that expired, and 4 that are coming soon. And then we'll also 6 back on the market. So that's pretty significant as well.
That is. So I know you've explained that before. When they come back on the market, it's generally because the sale fell through?
Yes, that's usually because the sale fell through, or sometimes it was a listing that was canceled maybe over the holidays, and they're just bringing it back on now, and that counts as a back on market.
Yeah. And do you remember, David, were you at about the same number of new listings last week?
We were in the 30s last week, so a little slightly down. Again, 21 that went pending, 28 new listings, not that much of a buildup of supply, but 15 price changes. So the houses that are still on the market are getting reductions. Yeah, everything's kind of moving along a little more balanced these days.
Good. And I know you're looking forward to things being up in the 40s, 50s, and 60s for those new listings.
Yeah, we haven't really seen these significant price changes yet. Prices aren't necessarily going up like they were so much, but they're not really dropping that much either. So it's kind of like a balanced market right now.
Right.
Any question of the day for me?
Well, you know, David, I was thinking maybe each week, in addition to the questions that I ask, you could kind of review a certain neighborhood. So I know you really like the Mesa. Of course, there's the Funk Zone and Goleta, Santa Barbara, Carpinteria, Summerlin. I just thought you could kind of give someone an overview of one of the neighborhoods in Santa Barbara. And I guess Goleta is a city in itself, so I'm probably wrong to be calling it a neighborhood. So why don't you pick one and we'll kind of discuss it.
A lot of people really like the Samarkand area now. So that really got a huge influx of popularity. That's just a really cute little neighborhood between the Mesa and San Roque. So it used to be kind of defined as San Roque as well, but it's a little bit closer in, not quite as up to the mountains. And people love it because you can walk to a bunch of different coffee shops like right there. There's some restaurants. It's a little better walkability than San Roque, but it still has that really nice neighborhood feel to it.
Well, that's interesting to know because, of course, I know Samarkand, but I never think of it as an area in itself. I probably lumped it together with San Roque, but it is, as you said, kind of in between the downtown area and the San Roque area.
Yeah, and it's a very small little neighborhood, but it has some really great potential there as well. There's some homes that have these amazing mountain views, and it's very quiet right there. There's not a lot of traffic. Great walkability. If you want to walk around your neighborhood, you're not dealing with cars driving by quickly or anything like that. So I think that saw a huge influx too the last few years, where people saw that as more desirable than maybe some other places because of the walkability and kind of what it offers.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a great view and being able to walk to different shops and restaurants? And that's really an advantage.
Yeah, I think that was a huge thing too of the last couple of years. People like being closer, maybe walk to stuff they want to do and maybe not have to get in their car and everything like that. So I know that's why kind of the Mesa's seen a huge influx as well. People want to be close to the beach. They want to just be able to walk out there and be out on shoreline. So some of these neighborhoods are really defined by walkability access to what's around you.
Oh, that makes sense. And the Samarkand area, I know there's probably a huge range in the pricing, but what would that range be if somebody is interested in looking in that area?
Prices have gone up everywhere. I think even in Samarkand now, you're probably minimum 2 million, I think. And if it was more of a fixer, you could probably get it around like 1.5, somewhere around there. But it saw increases just like every other neighborhood around here. So it wasn't a hidden secret, so to say, but you could probably get more value on Samarkand than, say, the Mesa. Maybe a little more value than San Roque, but they're pretty similar in these
Very
regards
similar.
now, San Roque and Samarkand.
You know, with so few houses for sale, is that helpful when somebody knows they want a certain area when they work with you, David, or does it make it a little more difficult?
I think it's very helpful because then you can kind of just focus in on one spot and maybe you can farm the area a little bit more. You can reach out to your connections to see if anything's available in that specific area. It makes it tougher because there may not be that many homes that come on, and the one that comes on may not be the one you want. So you just have to have patience if you're looking for a specific neighborhood, but it does make it relatively easier. You know where you want to live. It depends what you consider easy. Like if you consider easy knowing where you want to live and having the patience to wait for it, or if you consider easy not having to look at every other home and try and figure it out. And you kind of have open options though at that point, but you're seeing 5 homes a week. What do you think's easier? You know,
well, I understand.
To other things.
I understand what you're saying. So it does help because you know exactly what area to look in, but it would take patience because with so few houses coming on the market, it could take a while for the perfect house for you to be available.
Exactly. And then if you're thinking about it and then your patience is wavering too, then you're starting to dip into other neighborhoods and you never know. You maybe like that one just as much. At that point, it's easier or better for you to find something sooner than wait for the neighborhood. So it's all just going to be dependent and people change their minds all the time. So you just go with the flow.
Right. Yeah. So I guess it's good to keep a little bit of an open mind in case you decide you like another neighborhood just as much.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, David. And maybe we can cover another neighborhood next week. You really keep up on that. I appreciate it. And I know I just want to tell our listeners you were born and raised in the area, and that's very helpful when you're looking for a realtor. Could you give your contact information in case anyone would like to talk to you?
Yeah, my number is 805-617-9311. My email is david@davidcharlesallen.com.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Talk to you next week.
Let's give it a go next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.